Right then, welcome back. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're doing this new, this new generation. Newish bikes, nice tracks. Yeah, French Riviera. Right. I don't like the French Riviera, never got on with it. However, I intimated in the last video, gave a promise that we had a good race. And we did. Now, 800 to 900cc bikes, we went with that. The F3 800 2019, very nice bike. The pipe's a bit suspect on the game, but it is what it is. And, well, what can I say? I wasn't expecting the best. Normally it's give it 3 goes, turn the difficulty down, win by 20 seconds, don't talk about it too much, move swiftly on. However, not this time. Put a bit of thought into the setup, got it wrong the first time. Thought about the tyres, and attempt number 1, lap 1, through the tunnel, through this left-hand kink, there's a bump, preload, too high, bike, squats, fires me back up, lose grip on the rear tyre, we're off into the barriers, we're done. So I soften the rear preload off, and I compensate by turning the spring and the rebound and compression dampen up on the back. It goes better. Attempt number 2, muck that, my least favourite corner on the game, up. That fast right-hander with a barrier, make a mess of it again. It's still not right. Back tyre's getting warmish, front tyre's next to nothing. So we go again. I'm also chewing the back tyre up really quick, so I've gone from a soft to a medium. And well, without a shadow of a doubt, the best race I've ever had on French Riviera. Possibly one of the best races I've ever had. Now, no, the AI didn't manage to make it all the way through to the 5th lap. However, for the 4 laps that we had some fun, this is what it was like. Turn 6, I'm a little bit wide, Japanese rider straight up the inside. I go back past him, get on the gas, braking for turn 6, now into turn 9, into turn 10. Again, I run a little bit wide, Japanese rider up the inside, I kind of stay out his way, I try to dive bomb him again. Into 13, I think I'm too late, I'm too wide, there's a little bit of contact with both from wide, I know he's going to come back at me through here, so I lift off and lift the bike up, don't hit the barrier, throw it through the right-hander down the hill, and that's how it goes on for the best part of 4 laps. Him chasing me chasing him overtaking me overtaking him back, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up, because I've left the 4 laps on, and yeah, I had a good race at French Riviera. Where? French Riviera. It genuinely makes me happy. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and the Japanese rider's time is nigh, and he loses it on the bump in the left-hander and spanners into the barrier. Probably made a right mess of his leathers as well. And that was it. We had a 2.9 second lead over the Spanish rider behind us. And I got that nervous and that excited and that sweaty holding the pad that I pissed away that 2.9 second lead and ended up with a 0.8, 0.7 point something across the line because I was panicking that I was going to make a mess of it. And I got really my hands went really tight, and I'm still giddy. I cannot believe that I had a good race at the French Riviera. To quote one of my rather funny, very funny subscribers, shit the bed. Shit the bed, I had a good race at French Riviera. And I got a massive smile on my face talking about it because I hate that place. I absolutely hate that place. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Second one, Snetterton 200. So, the outer perimeter of the track, basically. And we're going to go with that. The Daytona 765, the Moto2 that Triumph stuck a massive price tag on. And hand on heart, Scout's Honour and all that jazz. I don't really know the track, the chicane at the end of the second straight, isn't it? You've got the start-finish straight. Yeah, so up the start-finish straight, through the fast right-hander, then the little straight at the back into the hairpin. I don't know it. So braking markers are on the left. Go down a couple of gears, treat it as a double apex right-hander, and you'll be absolutely fine. Get on the gas. Across the left of the track, look for the braking markers just before the second braking marker, get on the gas. Stay nice and tight. I lift the bike up too early, look. And it just makes a mess of this. And I thought, well, I'm probably not going to do it now, so I'll go nice and steady, I'll go through the motions, and I'll just see where I am, and then I'll use that time to gauge where I am in relation to a 112.8. And as it turned out, we did it by about 2 seconds in the end, which surprised me because I'd kind of not given up on it, but I'd gone, well, I've wasted it now because I made a mess of the chicane. But it wasn't too bad. Through the bomb hole, don't go mad, and then into Corums, just hold it tight. Don't let it run too wide. And as soon as you see that last corner, stand it up, get on the brakes, and stay nice and tight on that curb. Don't run over the sausage bit of the curb. It'll fire you off into the grass. Get on the throttle, up the straight, and away you go. And yeah, I was genuinely surprised that we did it, but we did by a couple of seconds. So happy days. We'll move on. So third one then, and we're going to Interlagos in Brazil, and wasn't quite sure what to use, mucked about with, thought about a couple of bikes, and then saw that. Never used it before, the WSM Superbike, so the Walt Segal Motorcycles Superbike, Ducati based, I think it's based on a 1098, maybe it's an 1198, something like that. And we're at Interlagos, and it is pissing down. And when I say pissing down, I mean it is absolutely lashing down with rain. Setup-wise, I was fumbling about in the dark. You need a good front end at Interlagos. There's a lot of tight turns, a lot of uphill, downhill. And attempt one, I just made a mess of it. 10th, 5th position. 10 minutes. 10 minutes of my life that I'm not getting back, which will also affect us at the last race as well, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. The bike wasn't quite right, the front tyre was getting a bit warm, it wasn't managing the energy between the two tyres very well, so I mucked about the setup and arrived at something that I thought was like reasonably usable. And we went again. The problem is they're all on like Panigales and Aprilia RSV 1100s, so I knew I was lacking a bit of pace down the straight, so I had to try and make it up around the corners, and that is a dangerous game around here because you've got to go steady in the corners, you've got to be patient on the throttle. So through turn 1 and 2, we'll go through them again at the end of that. Turn 3, long left-hander onto the back straight, don't run wide like I did across the grass because it upsets the bike, it gets all sorts of wobble on. Braking markers on the right hand side, just after The first one you get to, on the brakes, down a few gears, stay nice and tight, don't run too wide, don't run too far over this curb on the inside, you'll hit your head on the barrier or it'll fire across onto the other side of the track. Second braking marker, down a couple of gears, knock it in, treat it as a double apex right-hander. As you straighten the bike up, hard on the gas. This bike runs second, sometimes you have to run first. Hold it nice and tight, patient on the throttle, don't go mad, because this is a really tight downhill left-hander as well. Stand it up, straight line through the first bit of the right-hander, and then on the brakes, as soon as you see that break in the tarmac where you can avoid the corners on a different layout, get on the brakes, patient on the gas again, and then it's another downhill left-hander, and this is where the front end of the bike is very important. You want that support, you want that grip. This is a bit of an understeering pig at the minute, and I am struggling with it. The AI are trying to help us as well. A little bit of a love tap up the backside, and away we go. Run right hand side of the track up here, straight line this bend, don't do what I did, that's the wrong line, and you'll be fighting the bike and you'll be all over the place. Yeah, and that's pretty much a lap of Interlagos. For the first corner, braking markers are there. Yeah, you want to get on the gas for that, get on the brakes at that first braking marker hard, get the bike slowed down, go down your 3 or 4 gears and stay nice and tight on the first corner. I was on the brakes too late there and I just ran wide. And the AI never gave me a breath. For 5 laps, for the best part of 8 minutes, they were there, less than half a second for the whole race. It was just pressure. The weather was shit, it was going dark, the bike was a bit of a pig, it's cooking the front tyre, the back tyre is feeling next to nothing, and it was just absolutely a sweaty palms race. It was one of the most difficult races that I've done for a while. Just for pressure, just the AI were there, never letting up. But it's done. It's done. That bike, I want to take that bike to Magny-Cours and see if I can get a set up because it's really nice. Speaking of which, next race, Magny-Cours. Now I love this place. Easily one of my favourite tracks. This and UMC, especially the outer course at UMC, amazing. Didn't know what to use. We've used 2 triples, we've used a V-twin. I thought, well, I want to use something different, so I was out and about on the bike Saturday, in fact yesterday as this video comes out, and I saw a Katana and I just like them. They're fantastic, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use a Katana. So that's what I did, and not the fastest thing in the world. I made a mess of it because of the setup. The setup wasn't quite right. It was quite difficult. It takes It takes the best part of 2 laps to get to the front, but once we do, we clear off and we win it at a canter in the end. But you'll see, I'm going to shut up and have a drink of water. You'll see from the setup the tyres aren't quite right. yeah, so, well, 2.5 laps to get to the front. Once we got to the front, we cleared off 8.5 seconds. 0.3 of a second penalty, 3.5 tenths. Just running across that last chicane, just mucking up the turning point. Bike wasn't bad. I messed the setup up. The tyres are cold front and rear. It's too stiff. I'm not getting enough energy into the tyres, but we made it work and we won in the end. Again, I think the bike's got a nice bit of potential in it. I think it could be something that is usable but not mad usable, like a V4 or the MV or something like that. I think it's a nice bike to use if people don't want to go too fast. So, event number 5. Now you may have noticed that all the sound's gone, and the sound has gone because for some reason it sounded like a load of dolphins on the recording, just clicks and clacks and squeaks and God knows what else. It was horrendous. I don't know if my Xbox has taken a dislike to electric motorcycles, but the sound was absolutely shit. And to compound it, not only are we using an electric motorcycle, we're using an electric Harley-Davidson. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again, kudos to the developers because they've made the electric Harley-Davidson feel just as shit as a real Harley-Davidson. So, well done, devs. You've absolutely outshone yourself. You don't want to put Multistrada Pike Peaks in, or KTM Super Duke GTs, or BMW GS, or an S1000 XR, or any other ballistic missiles of motorbikes, but you'll put an electric Harley in because apparently it's the future. Well, the future can piss off because I'll keep my petrol-based engine, thank you very much. I quite like the smell of dinosaurs coming out my exhaust in the morning, which is a thoroughly selfish attitude, but it is what it is. I don't ride a motorbike to worry about where I'm getting my next bucket of electricity from. But race-wise, absolutely horrendous. One of the worst, most boring, uninteresting, dull races I've had the mispleasure of doing on this game. It's not the bike's fault. If I'd rode the Energy Ego, it would have been exactly the same. But we got off the start, we got a gap, and we won. And that's the end of it. It's so boring that I don't even want to put any of it up. 13 seconds in the end. It was 20 odd seconds at one point, but I think the game resorted to its pre-programmed race times. But it's done, it's finished, and apart from race 5, which was a heap of shit, the rest of it was pretty good. And we had a good race at Magny-Cours. And I know I keep going on about it, but it makes me so happy. But anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know how you're getting on, and subscribe as well because we're going to do them all. And fingers crossed, I will see you next time. Stay safe. Peace.